Good evening, I'm Michael and you're watching Kini News. Emotions were running high at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court this morning with life imprisonment on the table for 12 men, including 2 DAP leaders over purported links to the defunct terrorist group Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, LTTE. They were charged under Section 130J of the Penal Code, which deals with the offence of soliciting or giving support to terrorist groups or for the commission of terrorist acts which carry a maximum punishment of life imprisonment or not more than 30 years in jail. With his beard and hair shaven off, former PKR member A. Kalaimughilan had a few words to say to the press when leaving the courtroom for the Sungai Buloh Prison. Let's listen.
Kita bukan pengalas. Kita bukan pengalas. Simpati saja. Simpati salah. Consider. Kita bukan pengalas. Our sympathy is never as terrorist. We are not terrorists.
Several family members of the 12 individuals charged today broke down in tears outside the courtrooms. Also present in the court to show their solidarity with the 2 DAP reps were several DAP bigwigs, including Teresa Koch, Charles Santiago and grassroots leader Ronnie Liu. It appears that the rapid transit system RTS between Johor Bahru and Singapore will finally become a reality.
The alignment is still the same. It's just 2 stations, Bukit Chaga and Woodlands. The original alignment is still the same. The alignment that proposed is according to the original alignment. The station on Malaysian side is at Bukit Chaga. The station at the Singapore side is proposed at Woodlands. So the alignment is still the same.
So most of the savings is from the land cost?
Yes. Land cost, and also of course we, in terms of engineering, in terms of redesign of the systems, and more details will be, as I said, more details will be announced later.
The project will also cost less than the original estimated 5 billion ringgit. This was revealed by Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad at a press conference at the Customs Immigration and Quarantine Complex in Johor Bahru.
Of course, dia 4.93 bilion sebelum, tetapi oleh kerana kita telah buat cadangan yang lain sikit, dan kos sudah turun kepada 3.16 bilion.
Najib Abdul Razak's 1MDB trial enters its 28th day today at the High Court in Kuala Lumpur, but the man himself was nowhere to be seen. According to Najib's lawyer, Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, his client was unable to attend court proceedings due to an eye problem. He said he received a call from Najib informing about the eye allergy affecting both eyes at around 11 AM today. UMNO Secretary General Anwar Musa has hit back at critics for saying BN is fielding a recycled candidate by choosing Wee Jack Seng for the Tanjung Piai by-election.
Jadi kita terpaksa tengok daripada semua sudut dan kita berpuas hati Wee Jack Seng adalah the best bet untuk Barisan Nasional.
Dakwaan dua-dua parti menggunakan calon kita semula, bukan muka baru dalam.
Tidak apa, kita ada Perdana Menteri yang kita kuitar banyak kali. So no problem. Okay, if the Prime Minister, you can have a kitar semula Prime Minister, apa salahnya calon wakil rakyat? It's good to have a kitar semula PhD holder at the age of 55 dengan rekod khidmat yang cukup cemerlang dan anak tempatan.
Wee is a 2-time Tanjung Piai MP. He failed to retain his seat during GE14, losing by just 3 digits to Pakatan Harapan's Dr. Muhammad Farid Muhammad Rafiq. The experienced Wee will have to take on Gerakan's Wendy Subramaniam and Tanjung Piai Bersatu Division Head Carmine Sardini. Now we move on to international headlines. The Pentagon has released footage of the US Special Forces raid on Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi's Syrian compound, but questions are emerging on some of the claims made by the US president.
The U.S. Department of Defense Wednesday released stunning new video and images of the raid in Syria that led to the death of Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
We assessed that he was hiding in Idlib province to avoid the intense pressure that had been put on ISIS and other places in Syria.
Commander of U.S. Central Command General Frank McKenzie gave a minute-by-minute account of the assault, showing newly declassified images of U.S. forces taking small arms fire from multiple locations as their helicopters closed in on Baghdadi's compound. Drone footage showed the Special Forces team approaching the compound and aerial strikes carried out by F-15 fighter planes and MQ-9 Reaper drones that leveled the site once it was cleared. For the first time, the Pentagon also provided details on the DNA confirmation of Baghdadi's death. Samples from his remains were matched with those taken when he was held prisoner at Camp Baku in Iraq in 2004.
He died after running into a dead-end tunnel, whimpering and crying and screaming all the way.
But once again, Pentagon officials failed to confirm President Trump's provocative claim about the final minutes before Baghdadi's death.
Now, about Baghdadi's last moments, I can tell you this. He crawled into a hole with two small children and blew himself up while his people stayed on the ground. I'm not able to confirm anything else about his last seconds. I just can't confirm that one way or another.
The death of Baghdadi marked the end of a years-long hunt to capture or kill the U.S.'s main target in the fight against ISIS. Baghdadi had been at the top of America's anti-terrorism list since he declared a so-called Islamic caliphate in Iraq and Syria in 2014.
The US and China were expected to sign a trade deal in Chile, but it looks like now they need to find a new venue.
After several weeks of violent unrest, Chile said it will no longer host a global trade summit in November or a climate summit in December. In a brief announcement in Santiago on Wednesday, President Sebastián Piñera said this has been a difficult decision, a decision that causes us a lot of pain. The APEC gathering was scheduled to bring together 20 world leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping.
President, are you on pace to sign the Phase 1 deal with China when you go to Chile?
Yeah, we are looking probably to be ahead of schedule to sign a very big portion of the China deal.
Trump this week was optimistic he would sign the first part of an historic trade deal with Xi at the summit.
I imagine the meeting is scheduled for Chile. I know they have some difficulties right now in Chile, but I know the people in Chile, and I'm sure they'll be able to work it out.
A U.S. official told Reuters news the summit had been canceled caught the White House by surprise. The official said Washington learned about the decision from news reports and is seeking more information. Chileans demanding government reforms poured out into the streets again this week. Clashes with police left smoldering wreckage in the streets of the capital. The demonstrations were sparked by a hike in public transit fare prices and have been fueled by frustration over income inequality. Over the weekend, more than 1 million people marched peacefully in the largest protest since Chile returned to democracy in 1990.
And here are several other news highlights from today. And that's all from me today. For more stories, go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Prasad. Thanks for watching. Good night.